Alright, welcome to another one from week one of me playing the Demon Hunter. And this character still did not have 4 piece when I was making this video. So currently I'm playing the Venthyr build where I'm playing Demonic Embrace, I believe it's called. This is like one of the most popular ones I've seen. Later on in the week, I do try something else, but for the main part, for Radiant, this is just a like single target fight, so Tyrannical weeks, which I think I missed because I was away, family, over my birthday. But this, get back onto the point of the Demon Hunter, this class is really fun to play, but I can understand already why people might not want to main it per se. With other classes, so with my Shaman, which I've been doing some more keys with recently, and I've been enjoying like pushing that higher rating because I think I've done like 18s and stuff. It's very much like there's a lot going on, and I feel like I'm not overwhelmed, but I've got options all the time. Whereas the Demon Hunter feels like the enjoyment doesn't come from the class per se, but it does come from the sort of movement abilities you can do. So adding the demonic, the simple brand and demonic, like how they work together, is quite interesting, and also having the legendary make it so you want to press Death Sweep more often. I still haven't figured out if I actually want to press it on single target stuff. I'm pretty sure I don't, but overall it's quite fun, and I'm doing a lot of these raids on whatever week it is, or to get more Cosmic Flux, because that's sort of the real bottleneck I'm having is Cosmic Flux. I don't want to just send it over because I still haven't got the 10k on my Shaman. Also, anytime I don't want my Shaman to ever be in a place where it's like, oh, I can't make a new tier set, an upgraded tier set because I haven't got Cosmic Flux. So I'm kind of just spending it on that most of the time. But overall, this fight, I sped it up quite a bit because it's no fight. It's probably the fight that I enjoyed progressing the most on Heroic. Maybe Sire a bit more. But I really enjoyed progressing this on Heroic, which is sort of the highest difficulty on these later bosses I usually do. But the only problem I have with the Demon Hunter right now, and the reason why I don't think I could ever main this character, is that meta is so powerful, and yet it's just rarely used. So right now I'm kind of just going like, okay, I think I had something else to do a lot of the time. But you can kind of see like 6 on damage, not the best, not doing the best when it comes to not standing shit in this fight. And that's really, the Demon Hunter is the one class that you should be able to avoid 99% of like avoidable mechanics without fail, because you just have so much movement. So yeah, getting into this later phase, I just remembered that this Sinful brand build is just so enjoyable. It's really fun on single target, on raids. I could see this being like fun because it's a little mini game while you're doing your DPS rotation. Basically, it's like, okay, use as many. It's not Demon Strike. That's another ability. But using your spender as much as you can to get more cooldown reduction on your eye beam, it synergizes quite well, and then you get more time up on Sinful Brand. But yeah, overall, this so these are the talents I'm playing. I'm playing Demonic, which is kind of going into that meta makes it feel a lot better, getting that large amount of haste. Like for such a low geared character, having sort of the distribution that I've got now is quite good. Yeah, a lot of the time I'm debating more and more, like, do I actually put in the raid stuff because it is showing like the progress of me going from 0 to hero and 2k, or should I just leave it out? I think looking over this fight in particular, since it's quite a boring fight and it's quite long, I think I might cut out the raid fights except for like maybe the last couple of minutes, maybe like the last minute or so of the fight, unless like interesting really happens. Like on this fight in the phase 2, being able to jump that far ahead has no real purpose, but it's fun, you know. yeah, we're getting to 50% on this fight, which is kind of a shame. For the execute classes that I'm going to be playing, so warrior in particular. Even though I think I did kill this on my warrior to try and get an old warrior soul, because I think even now it's still really good on LFR compared to other trinkets. It's Legion Time Walking as the week I'm speaking of now, so this is a 1 week late, because I missed basically a whole week of doing keys and stuff. But finishing off this, I don't think I got anything from this. I might have got like a chest piece, and then I think I cleared most of the raid. I think I did from Fate Scribe onwards. Now we're getting into the boss fights. So this is where I started having problems with doing what's the problem with this right now? Oh, must have been oh, it was lag. That's what I remember. I remember this having I had really bad lag one time. This is a problem I've been having with Sinful Brand and keys, is that sure it's good for that one target, but no target is really lasting long enough where I'm getting 30 seconds on Sinful Brand at this point, on top of being able to put another brand on another target. There's very rarely you would pull 2 mobs that last that long. So later on in the week I do change it up, and I'm not sure quite what to go for. The Hunt I know is quite good in PvP. I know Kyrian is quite popular for the tank spec, which I think I have got leveled because I did want to try tanking at some point, but I stopped it eventually. And then there's also Necrolord, which is also another PvP spec. So you can see there I've got 4 set now, which is quite good market tank. And this is another thing which I'm realizing more and more why certain classes are good. So Demon Hunter feels quite good when there's a lot of movement opportunities to have. So right here, double jumping and dashing and also putting down my meta is not, it doesn't feel the best for the simple reason that it can go wrong way too easily, and that by doing that it leaves a problem. So yeah, that's what I was really alluding to, is that having that meta down there, having the blasphemy from the blasphemy infernos for the warlock also down there kind of leaves a problem. So then having Sinful Brand not really do much, it's not up all the time, it's only for one target. It might just be a symptom of these lower keys not being used as much. I tried it out and I tried to give it the best chance, being fortified as well. It's just I'm not sure how to make up this idea, like make up my mind on this. So this is the thing overall though that I'm having a bit of a problem with Demon Hunter, is there's not that balancing act you're trying to make with other classes. Now that might be because of my talents. I believe momentum would make that a bit more interesting, but I'm not sure how momentum really plays into the current, like, not being able to be in demon form, your demon form as much kind of is distinctly Demon Hunter for me. Like pressing your big eye beam and then going straight back into normal form, I don't like. But overall, I think I might try it out again this week. It should be another fortified week to see if momentum's a bit better. So yeah, look. So yeah, this is the problem, is that they're not lasting long enough for me to get 2 eye beams on. So that means I can have 2 Sinful Brands up. And the only time I really get multiple Sinful Brands up is when I put meta. And still, this is still as I'm saying last time, I'm not looking at guides and stuff. I'm kind of thinking about looking at stat weights, because some classes, it's not that stat weights are the most important, but they do make the class a lot better. An example of this is like running like not running the correct stat rates on Arcane Mage really does change how the class plays. Having a really high haste, low crit Arcane Mage in PvE is not the play, because I used to play it back in season 1 or season 2, I think it was. It was one of the two. And that really changed how you were expected to play, because not having that crit means you didn't get as much of your Kyrian Spark. So I might start looking into stat weights a bit more, especially with, and seeing if there really is a big difference. So, like, I don't see any synergy with any stats really. Like, haste just seems to be really good, mastery seems to be quite good, crit's really nice, verse is just overall verse, you know. On the Demon Hunter, it's not like if I feel like, oh, if I got crit here, I'd be able to do this, or if I broke this haste point, I would have more. Yeah, overall, it's just like the Demon Hunter seems like a very simplistic class, and you're not juggling anything. With Sinful Brand, you are, but in Iron Dogs, the bosses are living enough, but it's not like there's something else going on. And the problem with this fight is that, sure, my Sinful Brand might still be on, but it's not doing great. But the damage is there with Demon Hunter, and that's like one thing that you cannot deny, is the damage is really good on it. So I think this Warlock we're playing with is a lot higher eye level than me. He's playing on single target, he's not doing nearly as much damage, and that's the problem, is that Demon Hunter being a single target spec is something I've never thought about before, but maybe AoE would be better if I tried other Covenants. That's why I went to try Necro. But overall, this fight, just tried to do anything I could, because I'm kind of still new to this, but realizing now that I didn't have the correct one, so that's when I swapped over to, yeah. That's the only problem with this fight. I actually should have sped this up. Let me jump forward 30 seconds. So he's down. This is a good point where meta would be really good, like on higher keys, I would imagine. So you put meta down, you Sinful Brand, and then you I-beam, and you just rinse and repeat. You try and get as much I-beam out, so then you'll have a lot of Sinful Brands active. But there's very few fights that I can think of where you get a lot of adds plus a boss, and that's the problem, is that similar to how Unholy DK used to work in BFA, where with loads of targets, they became unstoppable and untouchable, and then the lower the amount of targets, other classes start to shine. And I don't think Demon Hunter Sinful Brand is that really what it is, because it's a 5-minute cooldown or 4-minute cooldown, and you're just kind of like, you can't be only be using one thing. So yeah, I think coming up is alright, and this dungeon is a really quick dungeon. If anything, this dungeon, besides the second boss, I really like, because it has a lot of mechanics, and it's interesting mechanics. It's not just like mechanics for mechanics' sake, similar to other ones. So I skipped that fight. I think it all died pretty much when I got there. And this fight I enjoy a lot on the Demon Hunter, and this is where you really get to see that shine. Having that high mobility without really sacrificing a lot for DPS for melees is quite good, because you have the abilities to do a lot of things from far away. So yeah, going into Immolation Aura, and I immediately have the chance to do a lot of things to not help the group but help myself. And I think in these lower keys is important to to split the difference between that, where if one DPS is alive and a heal and a tank, you can kill a boss most of the time in these really low keys. But obviously as they get higher, it becomes more important. So later in these phases, I think popping down darkness for when there's no clear zones, there's a chance to help out the group that little bit. That might be important. But yeah, this is the one part about Demon Hunter where I think BM Hunters share the same thing, where you have a lot of opportunities to pay attention to mechanics because you've got a very simple rotation. Where it's I'm demon buying and then I'm spending my agony, I think it's called, and then I beaming on cooldown. So yeah, overall, I think I held my own in that key. I didn't do great, but I didn't do bad. This trinket, really boring trinket, but it's quite good for Demon Hunters, I would imagine, because you get that versatility and agility. And verse being your most important stat, it helps. just leaving this and seeing what the next key would be that I did this week. It was a Upper Karazhan. So Upper's a dungeon I like for Demon Hunters for several reasons. At the start, you have a lot of the mobility to deal with these mobs. Also, you have a stuns. Also, when it comes to bigger packs, you can save your meta for that, and they're not that frequent, the big packs. So you really can pop it once. You won't be holding it more than like maybe a minute before the next big pack in these little keys. Sometimes you might be a bit less, but sometimes it'll work out, I think, better in high keys where you can pop meta when it's more important. And that's the thing where you get more value from meta, is when you have that opportunity to use it in like impactful situations compared to other cooldowns where, think of it like Spirit Wolves on Shamans, which I'm most familiar with. Sure, you can save it for bosses, but with the tier set, and if you're playing Witch Doctors, which is not the most popular, PLA is still quite popular, which is basically your flame dot, I can't remember the name of it, Flame Shock. Basically means that every time it ticks, building up to 8 time will do extra damage to your main spender, to one of your abilities, because Shaman has spenders and doesn't. It's like a... Anyway, I'm getting beyond the point, but I'm talking about Demon Hunter here. And Demon Hunter is so frustrating when you're playing Necrolord. Whereas playing Venthyr, you have that control of being like, okay, if I hit this target with Sinful Brand, on top of that, I then I-beam. Okay, it's going to last until the next I-beam. And then when I do that, then I can maybe Sinful Brand another target. It's cut and dry. There's no like, oh, play around this, play around that. Whereas this is like, you're playing a slot machine. So I'm trying to get the dot on it, I-beam. And you have such a 30-second window. I know 30 seconds doesn't sound a lot, but the amount of times it probably procs means that you might have it up for like 5 minutes of the dungeon, which is like... really well. This is the thing, you don't know. Like I think on dungeons where there's not a lot of ads, you're less likely to proc it because you're spending a lot of your time sort of walking between ads, or they're lasting a long time. Whereas I think when you're hitting multiple ads on the to proc it, it's much better. So this is one of the pulls I was talking about. Like maybe single pulling probably isn't a thing, but this tank pulling 2 packs at the same time is quite good. So I'm waiting, and then this is where Sinful Brand would have made a lot of more of a difference, because look, all these targets now have got Sinful Brand hypothetically, and you're set. And with Necrolord, since there's no control, you're just kind of hoping you get a demon coming in at the start of the pack to get its dot out, then you have that damage boost, and you're just sorted. So I'm still undecided. I think this week coming up, I might try Night Fae again. Not again, try Night Fae to see how it feels. But Necrolord has things... See, this thing, coming in late into the pack is still good, because we've got another pack coming in after that. So now I've just got a flat 20% increase in damage, which is just... It's boring, but it's also interesting at the same time, because the boring part is like, oh... well done, you're doing more damage. But the interesting part is like, okay, let me make sure I don't pop it straight away, make sure it's near the pack so it gets all the it's like dot on all those ads to just do more and more damage. So yeah, I think it's like the highest like RNG spec. That's comparing it to any other class I played. I think Windwalkers have got a really high RNG thing going on, where it could be, if you get a reset during Bone Dust, then you can like just do nutty damage. I've seen. So here I'm making a clear mistake by first killing it. I thought we took that ad pack from the back, but still, it being only 30 seconds, I think instead of it being 30 seconds, it should be... Actually, no, I take that back. 30 seconds is plenty of time. That's because if it was any longer, you could build up and maybe get 2, and then that's 2 broken. Having 2 of those at a time would 40% damage increase maybe, or maybe it's a effect where you get for longer. it's so instead of 30 seconds, it's a minute. So this is quite a hairy part of the fight where you got 3 ads: the tank, the ad that we didn't kill, and then also the voltage energy. In these little keys, like that first build was quite good. Try and mark it out, but the Shadow Priest just didn't get out of the way. So looking back on this and remembering how I played, I need to pay much more attention to my DBM timings, simply because the DBM timings would make it so I could stand in maybe the right spot and take up less space. And these are phases where you need to hit damage later on. So coming up, I think it's almost there. So these phases where there's like that extra damage, similar to Spires of Ascension, or when the boss comes down in Junkyard, you really do want, you're praying for these procs from the Dreadlords, because that would make your damage go insane. It's just, it'd be amazing. But sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. So like, look, I'm doing 9k at this point. I probably would have maybe done 11, maybe 12k. Being very optimistic there with saying that. If I had a Demon Bite, because then I would have had a dot, I would have had a 20% damage increase. It's just, there's a lot of opportunities there where I would have done more damage purely by RNG. It's not like I'm playing badly per se, but it's just I'm not getting enough. I could get more damage, basically. I'm not saying I'm not doing enough, but I could be doing more. So yeah, and this is the worst feeling when it comes to near the end of the fight. I'm not going to get 30 seconds use out of this. So it's kind of just like, it happens. That's where I'm trying to find like a build where you have the control of Sinful Brand, and that's why Sinful Brand, but you really have the AoE potential as Necrolord. I take a little bit less of both sides, but either way, I think there's a good opportunity for Nightblade to be it, or you to be like a flex player where it's like single target dungeons. So you're talking, Upper Karazhan, maybe Iron Docks. You spend a lot of time dealing with bosses. Workshop, Sinful Brand will probably be the best. Then when Iron Docks not a high single target dungeon. Then if you're talking about Junkyard, you're talking about, what's another dungeon that we've got? Streets, and also Gambit. I've got a lot of ads. All those have got the opportunity to be better for what are they called, Necrolord, because if you get them, then doing 20% more damage to a single in a pack would just make it so much better. Plus the dot that they do, it would be honestly great. And then you're not relying on spreading Sinful brands in those scenarios. So yeah, this kind of pull is, I think it went quite badly. I think I skipped some of the deaths we had. So yeah, we came back to so yeah, but there should be a cart soon. This boss, Medivh, I used to hate him. I now enjoy him as a melee. But I think having a prop paladin would be perfect for this fight. You got so many interrupts coming from them with their divine tools, their shields anyway. They've got a natural, so they've got like 3 possibilities. So they can interrupt 3 times in a row. I think once a minute. Then that leads it up to you having other melee classes. The only problem that we're having here is that the Shadow Priest, I believe it is. Yeah, the Shadow Priest is locked up, so you do need to make sure you have it so they can come out. I think, yeah, I killed the grip there. That was on me. I'm 9% sure that was on me. I still need to learn this fight a bit more, which is the problem. Oh, I cut the wrong part. Oh well, so we're going to this next part. This is like the perfect setup. So I get Demon Bite. Also, you get the demon coming out. So I've got still what? Where's the debuff? Do I not have the buff up? Anyway, so I kill the demon, then I can get more buff time. I think another demon procs in this, and these are the pulls you do want, where you get multiple procs because you just do insane damage. Oh, 20 seconds. Oh, must have. I'm still learning this thing because I only tried it out once, but luckily since you get renown so quickly, it's really nice to just be like, okay, I'm 70 renown. I then can get an idea of the actual Covenant ability instead of playing with a half Covenant, it feels like. So yeah, this fight on higher keys, I can imagine being really, really painful, just because you want as many dots as you buffs as you can, but you also don't want to play it too bad. Luckily, since I think Demon Hunters have got great survivability, I take up 3 dots, which really you should only play 2. I get Felharn. That's like perfect, like 56k right there. Then go into this fight. This fight was a tragedy. I hope I hit this right. Yeah, so killing it off. Okay, I did this after being just coming back, so I did this terribly. I should save the kill. And this fight, I'm looking forward to much more as a tank. I'm looking much forward to playing it as a range, because the middle counter, I think the strat is that you don't interrupt it until the very end, and then you just save your bloodlust for the very end, where. So you skip like a whole section of mechanics where you have 2 orbs out, and then you bloodlust, so you rinse it at the very end. So yeah, having this here, knowing that I needed to have the orbs, I could have avoided that, but I don't think I took damage, so that's quite good. The hardest part about the Demon Hunter rotation is making sure you know when they're not going to just piss off with I-Beam, or the tank's going to move miles with the I-Beam. So here I'm taking it nice and safe. I don't want to really... No, I don't. I take back what I said. I did not play it safe one bit. So yeah, at this point, I wish I was Venthyr, because firstly, the door would be really useful here. Secondly, having Sinful Brand on this target would be quite easy to maintain. But it's all swings and roundabouts. This is the thing where other classes, there seems like there's a correct choice for your Soulbind. Like playing Necrolord in keys with... Necrolord Shaman feels great in keys. Playing Night Fae Shaman feels okay, but Necrolord is so much better. Whereas this, like, both of them kind of suck in the nicest way possible. So I was hoping my demon would snap up here. Apparently, I don't think it does. No. So I just lose a buff there, which is kind of my fault. If I knew it wasn't going to snap, I would have left it. But yeah, overall, I'm enjoying the Demon Hunter. It's interesting, but it's not right. But that's the end of the week. I only did 2 keys in the raid, so I think I might have missed it. Other ones. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.